Cyberpunk music player. At least I think that's what it says. You have book, phone with a picture on it, and music, MP3 specifically, the best file format. A18, 128 gigabytes, DSD, heartbeat, and neural implant, and a cool looking thing that looks very cyberpunk. So yeah, I was currently preparing a review of this thing, the Snow Sky Echo Nano, and I bought this as well because it looked interesting. So let me get into the box immediately. You have the actual thing itself, which is kind of hard to dig out of. Let me, come on. See this? It doesn't want to let go because it's so precious. Come out. There we go. Look at that. We got the Neon Genesis Evangelion purple, green, yellow color. We got some stuff here, notably a USB A to C cable that is surprisingly short. Ooh. I don't think I've seen a cable this short in a while, so I'll leave it right here so I can see it in all its glory, even though it wants to retract. The box has nothing else in it besides a little manual that is, I think, to 100% in Chinese. I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm gonna put it to the side as well. You got some amazing headphones, the most comfortable ones, and they are so amazing. They don't even have a single marking on them telling you which side is which. So essentially, it doesn't matter if it's right or left, because this one is full on hyper AI and it can tell which headphone is in which one. Obviously not, but yeah. Player. I am a player. A game player. The thing is, like, the big thing about this is I expected this to be pure plastic. Just, it weighs nothing, is what I expected. But it's actually surprisingly heavy for what it is. So it seems to be like an aluminum shell, glass front, like this, like acrylic back. And I think there's a protector still on there. Yes, it is. Ooh, nice. For all intents and purposes, it looks pretty good. That is, of course, until you turn it on. Now, in the camera, this looks actually pretty amazing. From my point of view, I barely see anything, simply because the viewing you can see it here. The viewing angles on this display are horrendous, absolutely disgusting. Well, before I get into that, you have the date, which is wrong, by the way, off by about a month. So I would guess they either did a testing cycle at that date, or they approximated when they started listing it. I don't know. I really don't know. But of course, the big thing is music. You have like a nice little selection, this very generic UI. Like, this UI looks fantastic, right? It's like, hell yeah, this is futuristic, this is cyberpunk. And then you get in here and it's like, oh yeah, this is like an MP3 player, like an MP4 player from 2006. Now the funny thing is you have like a little button on top here to go back, but you also have a back button here on the side. Wonderful, right? On top, you have a power button. On the side, you have volume up and volume down. On the bottom, you have a speaker, a headphone jack, and a USB-C. And on the last side, you have a little micro SD slot, which comes with 128 gigabytes. That's at least the model I bought. Because funny enough, there was a version without the SD card. That's like 265 megabytes or something like that. Or maybe it comes with a 265 megabyte card. That costs more than this. This is actually surprising. But yeah, how does it sound? Well, first of all, one of the cool things is it has actually a speaker, which you don't expect from most things. But when you actually listen to it, It seemed surprisingly capable until it got louder. You can hear this crackling, I think. Let me bring it closer. This is full volume, I think. Yeah. This is as loud as it gets. Surprisingly, something I noticed. When you cover the speaker, it doesn't change much. It's a bit muted, but I think most of the volume comes through the back. Or through the front. Then the actual interface, you can like it here. Put it to your favorites. Hell yeah. You can do an A-B section. So you can get like a skipping cassette kind of vibe. You can actually change the speed. If you're a zoomer, you can listen to your music at up to ×9. But it doesn't sound like ×9 to me. It's more like ×2, ×3. So I'm a bit weirded out by that. And you can also slow it down for that like moody, hey, it's raining and I want to have some bassy music, you know, the vibe checks. Then you return to normal. And of course your basic shuffle modes. But all things considered, in an emergency, where I want to listen to some music, make it a little bit quieter and put it up to my ear, it's not the worst. I expected far worse from an internal speaker of this caliber. This thing costs like $30, by the way. I forgot to mention that. Of course, I don't want to play too much copyrighted music, but let me, for example, go next. Yeah, all things considered, it works, right? It works, of course. I would expect there to be an album cover here, but it seems not to be able to pick up any album covers. So just, you know, skip through a few. Yeah, shut up. Quiet now. Okay. That being said, this is a multimedia device. All the music is like an MP3 or FLAC. It's capable in the file types it can play when it comes to music. Now, of course, a video. You see, there's one video on there. It is a weird Chinese name, 2.avi. I tried to recreate it with, you know, FFmpeg and Handbrake and whatnot from a personal video. I couldn't do it. Now, on the SD card, there was a software, but I'm not going to install a random piece of software that came on an MP3 player's SD card. You know, excuse me for not doing that. But yeah, I don't think I even need to do that. That is the quality you get. Essentially, one of the worst part is because you have to switch it over, and when you look at it from the side, you have like a weird glare because of how the display works, which makes it absolutely unwatchable. I don't even know why this has this functionality. And next up, we have games. And once again, I try to add my own games. Doesn't work. You might need to modify something else that I couldn't find. But essentially what you get here is your classic set of NES games. When you look at the file, it's essentially just NES ROMs with a few configurations. And what the configurations do, mind you, is they make it so that it like auto do stuff, like keeps write auto, etc., etc., or shooting, or you know what. But it runs horribly. That's like 10 FPS or whatnot. I don't even know what's the point of that. Why would you want to play shitty NES games on your music player? Anyways. Then we have, of course, multiple pages. We have apps. You can set an alarm clock, stopwatch, calendar. Come on. You know, very basic stuff. Calculator. So if you go 3 divided by 3, you get 1. How do I reset it? And if you go 0 divided by 0, you get wrong. It works. You have hearing. No idea how that works. I couldn't figure it out. I think this might be podcasts or maybe hearing aid functionality. I don't know. You have dictate, which I couldn't figure out either. I think you can put dictionaries on here and then look them up. But when I, look something like floor, where's the R? I don't like when they are ordered by alphabet. Then go, hey, no such word found. Floor has been deleted from existence. So yeah, it doesn't work either. Then you have read. This thing does not support EPUBs, it doesn't support PDFs, it only supports .txt. So if you go into the README here, you can see subscribe and hype. And then if you check my other text, like my manifesto, which is the Dark Souls walkthrough, on the side, if it wants to focus, just like the left half of every letter on the side is just cut off. So it's not even good at that for some reason. You expect, okay, if it's a text, it should be able to handle it, right? No, it cannot. And of course, the last one, my shopping list, which certainly is not a shopping list. Come on, how do you... that's how you do it. It's fine, but I don't see why you would want to read a TXT file on the go, especially of like a book or whatnot. It has like actual functionality if I go in there. You have like different chapters, but I don't know how to set chapters, light, dark modes, brightness settings, other settings, bookmark, whatever. It has its functionality, all things considered. And the last one is file, record, and radio, and set, which is settings. As for files, you can actually look at images. It doesn't have a separate like app for that, but on the store page it says, hey, I support image watching. The problem is, the resolution is it only seems to support JPEG, no GIF, no PNG, no nothing. And it seems extremely distorted color-wise. This is a picture of one of my cats. It looks alright, but it's very bad actually. If you see the real image in comparison, like in real life, of course, but it's like hard to show like that. Anyways, radio only works with the headphones plugged in, which I can show you right now actually. Come on, radio. The problem with that is you can like auto scan and everything, but none of the stations come in any clear. There's like one station I found, and it sounds like I'm barely in its range. I don't know, this is a bad radio player as well. Setting, like if your basic settings, like, format device, restore, language settings, etc., etc. It's actually quite convenient. You see a Bluetooth, and you can apparently switch it to Bluetooth, but one thing that I found interesting is, if you have two of these devices, let's say you and a friend, you can take Bluetooth and share files with each other. What? Why does a device like this have functionality like that? Why? Like they assume people are gonna have these like in droves. Like everybody's gonna have one of these. Like, oh yeah, hey, dude, I like that song that you showed me last time. Oh yeah, sure. No, that's not gonna happen. Anyways, let's check the record feature. Yes, it has a microphone. So you can record fun stuff. So let me just read something I have here. Just out of curiosity how good it sounds or how bad it sounds.
Call me Ishmael. Some years ago, never mind how long precisely, having little or no money in my purse and nothing particular to interest me on shore, I thought I would sail about a little and see the watery part of the world.
Now, one thing I haven't even talked about yet is how does it sound? Well, if you use the included headphones, it doesn't sound very good. They're alright for what they are, but you toss them usually. But if I, include my actual headphones, my DT770 Pros, it's surprisingly capable, I have to say. It can drive them pretty easily. And it doesn't sound bad. It is surprisingly capable, is the problem. It really is. It's not a bad experience when you just listen to music. But the question is kind of, why when it sucks at pretty much everything else, right? There's no point to any other function than the music function. At that point, you have better options, more dedicated devices that have extra functionalities like external DACs, or just, you know, your phone, which I'm recording with right now, it really doesn't offer much besides looking cool. It looks very snazzy. If you make a Cyberpunk cosplay, sure, this can be like your carry-on or whatnot, your interface, I don't know. But for just listening to music, I feel like there are better options than this. But it really does look cool. That's the only thing it has going for. Now, there's just one more thing I'm curious about, and that is if the screws actually will bring me inside, or if they're just like your decoration. So let me see. I think I have those. Okay, so I tried to take it off, but it actually seems to be connected. The battery is like glued onto the back side. Can I just... It looks surprisingly capable inside. I mean, if anybody recognizes this chip, maybe you can figure out if it's a good one. I don't think it probably is. A joint base W20 or something like that. I mean, capable is it doesn't look all like as cheap as I thought it would, but it's nothing special. I wonder though about this battery. It's a 330. I can actually show it. It's a 330 milliampere battery. So I don't know how long it will be able to power this thing, especially with the screen, but not or whatnot. But it has actually a surprisingly capable auto shut off, auto like dimming feature. So, you know, I guess. Anyways, you know, I thought about doing a proper review of this thing, but I really didn't know if I could do it. I don't think I would recommend it necessarily, especially for the price. But you know, it's a cool, nifty little thing, I guess. Anyways, with that I want to say thanks for watching. I wouldn't tell you to buy this, but I will still put the link in the description down below in case you want to, with some other stuff that you can check out. And with that I want to say thanks for watching. Follow the instructions in the README that I shown earlier. And stay tuned for the review of this guy, because I can swear this one is already more likable to me than that.